Alright guys, so today let's talk about why Nigma Galaxy has been doing so poorly in the past DPC. So, they basically lost almost all their games. They won their last game against Secret, and I think one of the main reasons why they've done so poorly is actually because Kuroky hasn't been performing as well as people expected. He makes a lot of poor plays, I believe. So, first of all, he's always farming as a position 5 when his team's actually doing something and grouped up trying to push a tower or something across the map. Second of all, I think his item choices are pretty poor. I think most of the time, his item choices are completely irrelevant to the game. And then in team fights, he's pretty much AFK in a lot of them. And then finally, he has a pretty poor vision game. So let's take a look at a couple clips and see if you guys agree with me. Okay, so the first clip we have here is Tundra versus Nigma Game 2. So right here we see DP and Tusk decide to smoke. That's perfectly fine. They want to do something. That's their main tempo for their lineup. That's fine. I don't know why Kuroky doesn't go with him though. All he does is send the creep that actually gets seen by a ward, which actually puts their focus over here in the try area, which actually results for Tundra to immediately rotate over and they get 5-man. So my question is, why is Kuroky farming? So even if he maxes second skill, right, he doesn't do much. He does have sentries. He's a position 5. He should be going, if he actually dewarded this ward, this actually could have been prevented, right? So this is really problematic because first of all, DP has ult while he died. They end up getting second tower. And second of all, Kuroky had such a good lane. He already has Holy Locket as a position 5. And he only has 1 level in his 3rd skill with Holy Locket, which makes this item actually useless for now, right? And then he's farming as a position 5. Even if you say oh, he's not going to be that useful, right? He should at least go. If not to deward, maybe he could die for DP or Tusk. He's the lowest priority on his team, right? Position 5, that's the whole point of position 5. I don't know why he's farming here, so this makes absolutely no sense. And this is actually one of the reasons why they actually lose this game, because they lose out so much tempo in the early game. Alright, so let's look at another clip where Kuroky doesn't come to a fight, right? So basically, his team is prepping to push bot. It's not like a sudden thing. They're prepping. He's just farming top. Fine, up to now it's fine, right? So my question is, at what point does Kuroky just decide, I'm just not gonna go? Because if we look at this, they start engaging under a tower. The person he's laning against, the AA, TP is in sight. So he's just farming, he's not doing anything, and because of this, they don't get a kill on Medusa. Miracle actually dies, right? GH tries to finish off Medusa, dies too, and then if we look at here, DP dies as well. So in the meantime, he's farming as a position 5 Abaddon. His whole point in picking Abaddon position 5 and maxing 1st and 2nd skill is to protect his teammates, heal them, and get rid of debuffs while they're pushing or while they're engaging fights, right? So my question is, what is the point of this pick at this point? Because he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He actually loses 1.2k for his team. I mean, he loses 3k, the enemy gains 1.2, so it's 1.5k difference, right? So this actually turns the tide of the whole game because DP loses. He used his ult. He doesn't have ult, so he doesn't have pressure for the next 90 seconds. He's just farming there. They did 0 damage to the tower. They didn't kill anybody. They got 3 people killed. In the meantime, Kuroky just farmed 300 gold. So was that really worth it? I don't know, man. You tell me. Okay, so I don't want to keep droning on the same point where he doesn't come to team fights, right? So we're going to leave it at that. What I want to talk about next is Kuroky's item choices. So in my opinion, it's either his item choices are so far the next level that no one understands, or it's just plain bad. So right here, he has 2.4k as a position 5 Weaver, right? I don't know. He decides to get a Helm of Dominator. Normally, fine, that's okay. But the point is, the enemy team has an Enigma that can just kill the creep if it's a low level creep. Or he has Enchant that can just take whatever creep he dominates. It's a 45-second cooldown into a 16-second cooldown, right? So that makes absolutely no sense. In a different game, it could be useful. In this game, really doesn't do anything. And then, I mean, if you want to say that he's gonna hold on to this Helm of Dominator creep until Enchantress shows up with one and he just takes it in the fight. First of all, I don't think that's what, for support Enchantress, he'll max his 3rd skill. That they use this for a slow. And if for a damage enchantress where she's going here, he just uses first skill for damage, right? Again, he uses slow, so he doesn't bring a creep. The main reason why Kuroky got this is actually because he thinks that the new creep that flies around that gives flying vision is actually really OP. Well, don't get me wrong, it really is OP, right? But this game, what happens is throughout the game, he ends up just using this creep to walk around for vision, and Enchantress just takes the creep from him. So he's actually actively giving the enemy vision. So it's not hard to believe that they lose this game, right? Because he wasted 2.5k on nothing, or 2.2k or something, on nothing, and he's giving enemy vision for free. It just walks up to them and then he enchants it. So I don't know what Kuroky's thinking, man. Alright, so this next clip is just mind-boggling to me, right? So right here, Kuroky decides to get a push staff. So first of all, Yules would be much better, right? Because Yules is really good into Ursa. It goes through the status resistance. If he ultis, you just Yules him. You can also, because he's Weaver, right? He's going to go into the backline. You can Yules Io when he tries to relocate. You know, it's just a really good item to counter them. He can also Yules Ember, and then, you know, Pango can just roll over him while he comes down, whatever, all that stuff. So, he decides to get a push, which doesn't really do much this game. I also want to mention that the last game against Gladiators, they had Bane, the enemy had a Bane, so Sleep into Mirana Arrow and Kato that, you know, slows them and just bursts them. And he doesn't get a push staff, he decides to get a pipe. Which, you know, if you get hit by an arrow, you're most likely dead, so pipe's not going to do anything for your team or yourself. So I don't understand why he gets a push here and not last game. But okay, anyways. So he gets a push, right? This whole game, he gets that 25 minutes. He actually only pushes 5 times. First time, he pushes the enemy core into him to kill him. Originally, the support was going to kill him, but he pushes the enemy into himself, so he dies, right? And then, second time, he pushed just to run faster. Like, just to walk faster. The third to fifth time, he just gets caught, and then he tries to push, and by the way, he doesn't save himself once. So let's take a look. I think the first pushes are right here. Let's take a look, right? So originally, he pushes Ember to walk over and kill him. Okay. Yeah. Great item choice, man. Alright, so the next point I want to make is the most important point. Basically, Kuroky's team fighting abilities is a lot more subpar than other position 5 players. Is really problematic for Nigma because they always count on him to make some key plays that he does not do, right? Or some small details. Right here they get Sand King. He gets Sandstorm off. Whole time he doesn't use Sentry until Sand King stuns away. Alright? That's one thing. Here we see that he uses ulti too late, first of all. Doesn't grave. Doesn't care about Mars. Doesn't heal or grave him. Right? He just lets both of his cores die. By the way, throughout this whole game, Huskar always believes in Kuroky to grave him. Always dies. Basically never gets it off. So let's pause right here, let's fast forward. So basically, after ignoring his 2 cores, he decides now, oh, I'm going to try and save Mirana, and then ends up dying anyways. So he might as well have tried and help his cores, right? You know, he doesn't put down a sentry, he doesn't help his cores. He did really poorly in that team fight. You know, whole team dead. Not what you want to see from Nigma. Alright, so let's take a look at this next fight. So basically, Kuroky doesn't do anything in the team fights again, right? So let's see what does he do in this team fight. So first of all, he puts down a sentry here and prevents Sand King, so that's pretty good. He doesn't shield Huskar or heal him, I don't know why. He decides to use heal once, and then he gets proc, his ulti gets procced, right? He does not hit the tombstone. He just tries to run away and then ends up TPing and then just dies. So in this team fight, effectively, all he did was use his first skill once on a Huskar. Let's take a look at another clip in this game. Alright, so for this last clip of the video, this play is actually so insane. If I were Team Nigma and I saw it, like if I replayed and watched this, I would be so mad at Kuroky. So we see Kuroky has Ags, right? And right here, so ILTW is getting caught by Bloodseeker. It's already too late to TP. He could have TP'd earlier, he decides not to. Okay, let's not talk about that. So what he decides to do is get the outpost. So while this is happening, you know, ILTW is already caught. So Miracle is like, okay, I have to go catch Bane first. So he engages. He doesn't get the kill on Bane. Bane is gripping him. In the meantime, Kuroky decides, oh, I'm gonna finish the outpost instead of TPing back. Alright? While he's doing that, Miracle is already black holed there. So him TPing back, okay, Miracle doesn't die. He gets BKB off, he's running. He sends him back, which dodges one black hole, but it's already too late at this point, right? He's been there for too long. If we were his back earlier, he could have easily just saved him, right? He could have ulted him from here back to here, would have been perfectly fine. So then Miracle, right here, Miracle buys back, right? And then let's take a look. Let's further down the video. So Miracle goes in again. He bought back. We see Weaver has buyback right now. So let's take a look at what happens. So they get by the way, Bloodseeker has a rapier, so if they kill Bloodseeker, it's really good for them, right? So Miracle's kiting, whatever. He does not get the kill off. He gets this at this point. You know, you're a position 5 Weaver. Miracle bought back. He has rapier with no ages. Even if you buy back and waste the buyback, it's worth it, right? You're position 5. You want to make sure this is the, if you lose this fight, you lose the game, you lose the series. So he decides not to buy back. Miracle gets, okay, at this point again, you're still not gonna buy back. Okay, fine, whatever. Once Miracle dies, right? Okay, DP's also there. That's now he decides to buy back. DP's already dead for sure. Even like there's no way he's saving him. So he buys back now. Miracle has no buyback. ILTW has no buyback. DP buys back. How are they gonna defend this lane with 5 people into 3 people with no buybacks? Like, what was Kuroky doing this whole time? Like, he's giving his team the false hope that he has Ags and it's gonna help them. In fact, what he does is get the outpost, doesn't care about his team, waits till his team dies and then buys back and then watches the enemy team finish the game. So I don't know, man. If I were Miracle, I'd just be so pissed at him. But hey, maybe, you know, they had comms and they, I don't know, decided not for him to not buy back. I don't know. I could never know that. But just from the outsider standpoint, this is too crazy to me. Alright, so that concludes this video. I know in the beginning I mentioned Kuroky also has a poor vision game, but that would be too hard to put in a short video because there's so much you have to do when you talk about vision. But there's so many games where he buys like 20 something centuries and he gets like 3 rewards at max. So I mean, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. You know, we can definitely make a video about that. But yeah, let me know if you guys agree with my other points. Even if you don't, you know, let me know, put it in the comments. And yeah, see you guys.